Hello students, now here let's start last chapter of statistics paper 1, that is chapter 5, theory of attributes. Theory of attributes. Now what does this attribute? Let's discuss about attributes first. Attributes. Now here there are certain phenomena like blindness, deafness, honesty, defectiveness, etc., which are not capable of direct quantitative measurement. In such a situation, the quantitative character arises only indirectly in the process of counting. For example, we can find out per thousand number of blind person, but we cannot precisely measure the blindness. Such a phenomena where the direct quantitative measurement of a magnitude is not possible, that is, where we can study only the presence or absence of a particular characteristic, are called statistics of attributes, and hence here we need slightly different statistical treatment from that of the variables. Till yet we had discussed all the statistical treatment for the variables where the data is given in number form. Now here the data is not in number form with us. Now here it may be noted that the methods of statistical analysis that are applicable to the study of variable can also be applicable to the theory of attributes and vice versa also. Now here in this chapter we have to study the methods of statistical analysis for attributes. Now before going towards that, let me write a small definition of attributes here. Now a phenomena where direct quantitative measurement of the magnitude is not possible. That is, where we can study only the presence or absence of a particular characteristic are called the statistics of attributes. Now before going towards the methods of statistical analysis for attributes, let's see the classification of these. So what the classification? Now here literally an attribute means a qualitative characteristic. This is not quantitative, where direct quantitative measurement of the magnitude is not possible. So it is a qualitative characteristic. Examples of attribute are what? Like the blindness, deafness, honesty, defectiveness, etc. Similarly, employment, honesty, smoking, color blindness, these These are also the examples of this. Now, while dealing with statistics of attributes, we have to classify the data. The classification is done on the presence or absence of particular attribute. When we are studying only one attribute, two classes or groups are formed, one possessing an attribute and another not possess it. Another doesn't possess the attribute. For example, when we are studying the attribute literacy, two classes shall be formed. Those who are literate and those who are not literate. That is, we classify attribute into different groups according to the similarities. So here let me mention an attribute is a qualitative, it is a qualitative characteristic. Qualitative characteristic. Now, in statistics of attributes, we have to classify the data. We have to classify the data, and the classification is done on the basis of presence or absence of a particular attribute. Now, that is what already I taught you, that is, when we are studying only one attribute, two classes are formed. Yeah, that is, when we study only one attribute, two classes or groups are formed, one possessing that attribute and another not possessing it. For example, when we study the attribute of literacy, two classes or groups shall be formed. Which are the first one? Those who are literate, and another one, those who are not literate. That is, we classify attributes into different groups according to the similarities between them. Means those who are literate, we will put them in first group or the first class, and those who are not literate, we put them in second class. So according to the similarities of them. Okay. Now next term is dichotomy. If we classify the observations by making two groups, the classification is known as dichotomy. A very simple definition. These definitions are asked for 1 mark in exam. Dichotomy. If we classify the observations by making two groups, the classification is called as dichotomy. In dichotomous classification, the observations are classified into two groups according to the same thing, that the attribute is either present or absent there. Fine. Now the next thing, manifold classification. This is one more definition. Now what does it? It is also on the classification. Now here only two groups are formed, then the classification is known as dichotomy. But if more than two groups are formed, then that classification is known as manifold classification. Okay. So if we classify the observations into more than two groups, then the classification is called as manifold classification. Okay. For example, this example of manifold classification, let me give to you. Suppose the grade-wise classification of successful candidates we have to do. That time we note the response to the statement like, some politicians can be trusted. So the response may be strongly disagree, neutral, agree, or strongly agree. So these are 5 groups are formed there according to the responses of them. Okay. So what the example? Responses for the statement that some politicians can be trusted. As strongly disagree, neutral, agree, and strongly agree, etc. Other also responses we can note, but I just mention these. So these are, here only two groups are formed, that is known as dichotomy, and more than two groups are formed, that is known as manifold classification. Now the next term is Likker's scale. It is a scale used to represent a technique for the measurement of people's attitudes to a topic. It was introduced by Rensis Likert. That's why the name is given by his name itself. And he was an American psychologist in 1932. A Likert scale is a psychometric scale commonly involved in research that employs questionnaires. It is the most widely used approach to scaling responses in survey research, such that the term is often used interchangeably with rating scale. Although there are other types of rating scales, it is the easiest to construct and is based upon the assumptions that each statement item on the scale has equal attitudinal value. Now, sometimes the question is asked for the short note on Likert scale. So, let me write whatever I say. Likert scale. It is a scale used to represent a technique for the measurement of people's attitudes to a topic. It was introduced by Rensis Likert, an American psychologist in 1932. A Likert scale is a psychometric scale commonly involved in research that employs questionnaires. It is the most widely used approach to scaling responses in survey research, such that the term is often used interchangeably with rating scale. Although there are other types of rating scales, it is the easiest to construct and is based upon the assumption that each statement item on the scale has equal attitudinal value. You can write as a short note on this. A scale using Likert format consists of statements such as I am afraid of heights instead of asking for yes/no reply. Here 5 options are formed that are like manifold classification, that strongly disagree, neutral, agree and strongly agree. So here I can write here no, yes no type questions in Likert scale. While other that example whatever we have written in manifold classification, the same one you can write as an example here. Now it is easy to use and is likely to remain popular in personality and attitude test. The responses are the general classified into odd numbers of categories that are 3, 5, 7. For example, suppose of a 5-point scale. Suppose, let me give example here about scale. Okay. So, suppose example we can say of a 5-point scale. So, example is I am confident that I will succeed I will succeed in my life. In my life. The responses may be, the response may be what? Strongly, disagree, disagree, neutral, agree, and strongly agree. Again, suppose another of a 7-point scale. Suppose of a 7-point scale. So here the lecturer knows the subject well. Suppose this is the statement. Now the response may be now it may be given as this. Suppose here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and what? 7. Suppose as 7-point scale. Now the attitudinal score only places respondents in a position relative to one another. Now here the Likert scale doesn't measure the attitude but helps you to rate the group of individuals in descending and ascending order with respect to the attitude towards the issues in question. Okay, so here we will stop for this video. In next video we will see some notations and dichotomy in detail. Thank you.